been one issue that no one in the entire academic world has been able to deal with for me. And it comes out of thinking about reincarnation. I used to get a lot of emails about it, and I'd email back saying, look, hang on a minute. The recycling of souls sounds, good economical principle, might even be scientifically based. However, there are 6 billion of us now, and there was only a couple of million of us not so long ago. Where are all the new souls coming from? Now, we have searched the world, Oxford, Cambridge, Harvard, Yale, nothing. And then suddenly a book arrived by the great, bioecologist Shaun Micallef, Professor Micallef from the ANU. It's called Preincarnate, and I can now ask him the question, because you have in fact studied this.
Yes,
Professor?
I have, Philip, yes, of course.
Where do all the new souls come from?
Yes, the fact of the matter is, and this is not a joke, they actually press into service the souls of lesser life forms. You see?
What, you mean microscopic?
Well, you
souls?
Eventually get... originally it was when there were just a couple of million souls, human beings around the place. As soon as it started increasing, the population explosion, they go to a horse, a leopard, rhesus monkey, that sort of thing. That was fine. That was sort of okay. You'd have to go through a few life cycles to purify the soul, so it was fit to be at one with God. And then eventually you got to unicellular organisms, E. coli, dysentery, some more hydra, protoplasm. Even parts of the cell, like the mitochondria, would be pressed into to get the soul out of the mitochondria. These took millions of years.
I've had a few guests on, I think, with mitochondrial souls.
Really?
Yeah,
tiny. You can tell in there. It's in their eyes, isn't it?
You can tell it is, yes.
Yes, there's a sort of deadness to their eyes.
Often it's also in their body odour.
Yes, that's quite right. And as a result, that's why the Buddhists are right. You go through many, 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 many lives until you hit that singularity and you can be at one with God.
And Professor Micallef,
Yes.
I don't use honorifics on the program, but I'm so awed by your presence that I can't resist. Professor Micallef, where did your soul originate? Your body odour is not unpleasant.
No. So there's no mitochondria level here. No. What I think, I'm one of the fortunate ones. I'm one of the almost pure. I'm like that Polish vodka you can buy, and if you open it, it actually reduces in alcoholic quality by about 10%. I'm almost there.
Almost pure, but it sounds a bit Scientological. You're not a bloody Scientologist, are you?
No. I have my own religion. That's,
do you?
Copyrighted.
Is that right?
Yeah, I've got to read. It's patent pending at the moment.
Look, the book, this wonderful text, Preincarnate, takes this idea much, much further than just old models of reincarnation.
No, that's a page in the book. This is
just a passing.
This is
a leaf.
Exactly. It's en passant, but with the whole book,
en passant. Look, he does other languages. This guy is just so bloody brilliant.
Only that point.
Yeah.
That's as much as I need to know, really.
Yeah.
But yes, there's a lot more pages in that book, and I've got other stuff on them. I think it'd be foolish of me.
I only read that page. There are other pages.
Other pages, but they're all different.
Bloody hell! So there are. I'll hold it up to the camera. Lots of.
Lots of pages and illustrations, because it's not quite a novel. This is a novel, and I sent it off to the publisher, and they said, no, it's not a novel. It's a novella. You are two words shy of being a novel.
That's like being 2 feet short of being a mountain, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. Just doesn't qualify apparently. But we've used fat pages and illustrations, and it looks like a real book.
Well, it's got big text, and I'm very grateful. At my age, I find that beneficial. Well, take us on give us a tour, a preview of this epic work, because it's got an incredible cast, hasn't it? You've got everyone in it.
I've got the Loch Ness Monster is in it.
Yes.
And how many novels published this year have a Loch Ness Monster? I'd say none of them.
No, they don't. You've got Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper is in it.
Right. Who else?
Let me think. H.G. Wells is in it.
Well, he's sort of in it, isn't he? Because
he dies.
He dies.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Well, I'm going to spoil anything. He dies crossing, I think, the English Channel,
yes,
which means that the War of the Worlds was never bloody written.
Yeah, it's a pity, isn't it?
No, it saves us from the movie.
So for the movie starring Tom Cruise,
Cruise,
who also appears in this book too.
Well, he's a Scientologist.
He is, and of course
he's a clear.
Yeah, he is.
He's a Thetan or something.
He is, and he's on record as saying that he wants to rule the universe as an alien being.
Is that right?
I think. I'm just going on what I read on the internet.
One of the charms about the book is that it's, and I know you're a very old man.
Yes.
Very old man.
We're both old men.
Yes, it's written in a rather sort of interesting retro style. It's sort of got a quality, a pre-war quality about the prose.
This is the thing. It's a short book. I needed to pad it out, and I thought, well, I could say things very simply, but it's over too quickly. I need to go on as long as I possibly can to make the same point. So I've used a lot of circumlocution.
That's another good word. See, this is how brilliant this bloke is. I have never, in 20 years of doing this program, ever had a guest, not from Harvard, not from Yale, who's come on and said, say it again.
Circumlocution. I'm sure. Surely Barry Humphries has used that word on this program.
He's not been on the program.
Really?
Enough. I've had his biographer on, but
weren't you his friend?
Yes, we were.
Didn't you know each other? What happened?
We had a falling out.
Really? Now I wondered about that.
Politics.
Really?
Politics. He's a bit left wing for me.
Has he gone to the other side? Has he? Oh, okay.
No. When he got crook a little while ago, he got crook in
I didn't know that.
Got very sick. So I rang him up and we had a rapprochement. You see, I can do it.
That's nice.
Rapprochement. I said a French word.
You've overcome that frisson that you had.
Reveal to the listener, his name is Gladys. Tell Gladys.
All right, Gladys.
Reveal to Gladys.
All right, Gladys.
What this book's about.
Listen up, Gladys. This is how it works. Okay, this is a man is murdered. That's right, murdered, and he wakes up fatally, absolutely, and dies, and wakes up 300 years earlier. His soul is transported back in time into the body of Oliver Cromwell's son. Now, Oliver Cromwell's son was about to inherit the protectorship of England during the time of the Republic, the glorious years of the Republic in England. And just as that's about to happen, he has a feeling of ennui, and he runs away.
Hang on, what's that? Ennui.
Ennui.
Ennui, right.
Yeah, okay,
I'll check that later.
Down. All right. And then he puts himself in suspended animation using some snake venom, and he wakes up a week before he's murdered. So he's able to stop Izzy. I don't want to spoil the ending, but this is the thing. He's got an opportunity to prevent his own murder. So I think that's the standard folderol of almost every story that's ever been written.
Yeah.
But I think I've given it a
It has
twist.
the ring of authenticity, doesn't it? Initially when you're confronted with an idea of this scale, there is a sort of resistance.
Yes.
There is, it's to some extent, counterintuitive, as indeed E = MC squared.
Yeah, who believed that when it was first said by that patents clerk? What did he know about...
How could he know? And he was
knew nothing.
foreign.
He couldn't speak English at all.
Yes, there we go.
He was very backward, apparently, as a child.
This is a lovely book. I'm going to leave the book in a second and talk about other things.
That's right. It's got a bit of string. We put some string in it as a bookmark. You don't see that in books these days.
No, you don't.
Lazarus Rising does not have a bit of string in it.
It's got a bit of string. And I didn't notice, and I've been using one of these things.
No, those post-it notes, they don't belong in that book.
Anyway, and I'm looking forward to your next book, which is Possum-proofing the Poetry.
Yes. Do you like the poem there? Would you like to read the poem?
No. Okay. Would you like to read it?
Well, I'll read the poem. This is the only poem I've written. Here we go.
This is good.
A poet who came from the Rhine did not find it easy to rhyme. He started off well, but by the end you could tell he'd lost interest in the whole thing and wasn't even bothering with meter. There you go.
Now,
that's the next one, though. That's not now.
That's no. I revealed about we don't need no stinking badges earlier.
Thank you.
Anyway, they're wonderful books. I've read them already, even though you haven't written them. Because, you see, that's the nature of time. It's much more complex.
Yes, welcome back.
It is. It's good to be with you again. Now, oddly, Shaun, I've been, as you know, and I can prove it by ancient columns, I've been an admirer of yours for many, many a month.
I know you were very, very kind to me when no one else was, back in 1998, if you'd like to look at the microfiche, Gladys.
What did I write about?
Well, you wrote about a program I had on the ABC called the Micallef program. I did self-titled, a little smug of me to do that. But it was a sketch program, and you very kindly and very nicely compared me favourably with Steve Martin.
Oh, that's of course, you are the dead ringer for Steve Martin. I think you have the same soul. I don't know how you work that out.
Yeah, we must be time sharing.
You've got the same hair colouring. You both...
Yes.
See, what makes you both different from other comedians is you both look comparatively normal. Most comedians don't.
This is the observation you made. This is exactly what you said. And I've actually increasingly come to resemble him. I didn't have grey hair when you wrote of this. So I've come to live up or down to your expectations of me.
Well, you've exceeded them. You really have.
So what next for me, do you think, Philip?
Well, I'm going to discuss that in just a minute,
okay.
Funnily enough. I suddenly feel so inclined. But you did another thing for the ABC, which brought to bear your another career long before you became a evolutionary biologist.
Yes.
At the ANU. You'd been a lawyer.
I had.
You had. And you made a comedy series which was really good. about lawyers.
Well, thank you, Philip. It was called Welcher and Welcher.
You don't mention it in your CV.
No, it wasn't well received, and it only lived that one series. And I quite enjoyed it. I quite like making it, but to a man, I don't think we were given a. Where were you when I needed you? Where was your article in the back of the Australian that time?
I don't know. I think Rupert might have sacked me that week. It happens, and it wasn't on long.
It wasn't well received, and I haven't looked at it. I have not seen it since it went to air.
If you can find it, would you be dear old thing and do me a dub, because I'd love to see it.
Well, it actually was released this year on DVD, so I can do better than do you a dub. I will personally send you a copy that I'll rip off on my computer.